Right now, as you're listening this, there's another version of you making completely different choices. They're living the life you've always dreamed of, or perhaps facing challenges you can't even imagine. But here's the mind-bending part. They're trying to reach you. Let your mind drift beyond this room, beyond this day, beyond the version of yourself you know so well. Imagine that somewhere right now, there's not just one other you, but a countless multitude, each living out a life shaped by choices you never made, dreams you never pursued, or fears you overcame long ago. Picture it. In one reality, you are standing on a mountaintop, wind in your hair, a life of freedom and adventure your daily norm. In another, you're sitting by a warm fire in a cozy cottage, surrounded by a family that feels like home. In yet another, you're standing on a stage, your voice carrying a message that changes lives. Some versions are not so different from your life now, others are so radically free, abundant, or wise, that they almost feel like fantasy. And yet, they are real. Each possibility exists as a thread woven into the vast, shimmering tapestry of the multiverse. Every time you wonder, what if? Every time you dream, if only I'd, every choice you almost made but didn't. Somewhere, some version of you did. And what if I told you that every strange coincidence, every moment of déjà vu, every vivid dream that felt too real isn't random at all? What if these are actually messages, cosmic breadcrumbs left by alternate versions of yourself across infinite realities? This isn't science fiction. Quantum physics has shattered our understanding of reality, revealing that what we experience is just one thread in an infinite tapestry of possibilities. And the most extraordinary part, all these versions of you are connected by an invisible web of consciousness that transcends time and space. But why does this matter now, here in the quiet hush of your own awareness? Because these other selves are not lost, distant shadows. They are alive within you, whispering, guiding, nudging you toward your highest potential every single day. Some call it parallel universes, some call it the quantum field, some call it the infinite soul. But at the heart of it all is a simple truth. You are so much more than you have been taught to believe. And right now, whether you realize it or not, you are standing at the doorway between these infinite selves. You hold the key to shift from the reality you see to the one you truly desire. This isn't just spiritual daydreaming. Modern physics has peered into the strange, shimmering dance of the quantum world and found that reality, at its deepest level, is not fixed and solid, but fluid and flexible. Particles flicker in and out of existence. One particle can exist in many places at once, until you look at it, and it chooses where to be. And what is true of particles is true of everything built from them, which means it's true of you. The concept of parallel realities isn't just spiritual philosophy. It's grounded in cutting-edge quantum physics. The theory of quantum superposition reveals that at the fundamental level of reality, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. This means that on the deepest level of existence, all possible realities are happening at once. Picture this. With every decision you make, whether to take that job, move to that city, speak to that stranger, or even what to eat for breakfast, reality splits like a cosmic fork in the road. In one timeline, you said yes. In another, you said no. Each choice creates a new branch where a different version of you lives out that decision, experiencing all the consequences and possibilities that follow. Some of these parallel selves are living extraordinary lives beyond your wildest dreams. Others are facing challenges that would test the very limits of human endurance. But all of them, every single version, shares something profound with you, an unbreakable connection through the fabric of consciousness itself. But here's where it gets fascinating. These parallel selves aren't isolated islands drifting in an ocean of possibility. They're all connected through what scientists call the quantum field, a vast ocean of consciousness where all possibilities exist simultaneously. And sometimes, just sometimes, these other versions of you find ways to break through the dimensional barriers to send you messages. What's truly extraordinary is that these multiple realities aren't just theoretical. They're actively interconnected. The consciousness that creates them maintains connections between all versions, allowing for communication and influence across dimensional boundaries. This is why you can receive guidance from a version of yourself that has already overcome the challenges you're currently facing. Think back to a moment in your life when you stood at a crossroads. Maybe it was a job you almost took, but didn't. A relationship you walked away from, or wished you hadn't. A chance you were too afraid to leap for. Imagine that, in another thread of reality, you made the opposite choice. How might your life be different? What kind of person would you be now? More courageous, more free, more joyful, or maybe carrying different burdens you were spared here? The beauty is, these other selves are not just echoes. They are alive within your field. They hold memories, lessons, strength, and inspiration that you can access. And the bridge to reach them is your consciousness. Your parallel selves speak in a language older than words, more subtle than thoughts, and more powerful than any technology we've ever created. They speak in symbols, dreams, intuitions, and tiny twists of fate we call coincidences. Think of déjà vu, that uncanny feeling you've done this before, in this exact way. That eerie feeling of I've been here before isn't a glitch in your brain. It's a memory leak from another timeline. For a split second, the barriers between realities become permeable, and you're experiencing an echo of what another version of you has already lived through. What if in that moment, your timeline brushed up against another, and you glimpsed a memory from a parallel self? These moments of déjà vu are actually brief glimpses into the experiences of your parallel selves. It's as if the dimensional walls become transparent for just an instant, allowing you to peek through and witness a scene that another version of you has already played out. The feeling of familiarity you experience is your consciousness recognizing its own energy signature from across the dimensional divide. When the same number appears everywhere you look, when chance encounters feel orchestrated by an invisible hand, when life seems to be conspiring to get your attention, that's not coincidence. It's your parallel self using the universe as a messaging system, dropping hints about the path you should take. Or synchronicities, those same phrases echoing on a billboard, a song that plays just as you're wondering about something deeply important. These are not random, they are breadcrumbs. Little winks from the universe, or from your parallel selves, nudging you. Pay attention, you're not alone. These synchronicities serve as a sophisticated communication network between realities. Imagine a version of you who has already made the career change you're contemplating, now living successfully in that new reality. This version of you might guide your attention to specific symbols, numbers, or events that appeared in their own journey toward that successful transition. For instance, you might start noticing a particular word or phrase everywhere, in magazines, in conversations, on social media, right when you're considering a major life change. This repetitive appearance isn't random. It's a version of you from a reality where this symbol played a significant role in their transformation, now using it as a beacon to guide your steps. And then there are your dreams, those wild journeys where your mind roams free. Many mystics believe dreams are not fantasy, but portals, windows, where your soul travels to meet other selves, learning what they know, bringing back wisdom if you're willing to listen. Your dreams aren't just random neural firings or subconscious processing. They're windows into other realities, particularly those vivid dreams that feel more real than waking life itself. These dreams often carry the emotional weight and crystal clear details that distinguish them from ordinary dreams. When you dream of living a completely different life, meeting people you've never encountered in waking reality, or experiencing situations that feel simultaneously foreign and familiar, you're likely accessing the experiences of your parallel selves. These dream bridges allow you to witness and even participate in the lives of other versions of yourself. Lucid dreaming takes this communication to an even deeper level. When you become aware that you're dreaming and can control the experience, you're essentially opening a direct communication channel with your parallel selves. In these lucid states, you can consciously explore alternative realities, learn from the experiences of other versions of yourself, and even receive direct guidance about your current life path. And what about that subtle sense that reality feels off? Maybe you wake up one day and your favorite food tastes bland. You look around your home and feel like a guest in your own life. You walk into a familiar place that feels slightly wrong. The air heavy, the vibe strange. Ever feel like you don't belong in your current reality? Like you've somehow shifted into the wrong timeline, or that your surroundings don't quite match your inner sense of where you should be? This unsettling sensation, often described as feeling out of time or out of place, occurs when you're temporarily tuned into a parallel version of yourself. Some call this a glitch in the matrix. But what if it's really a sign that you've shifted, even if only for a moment, to a different version of you? Sometimes these shifts happen gently, through healing, growth, or conscious choice. Other times they're sudden, triggered by intense emotion or trauma, when your soul jumps to a reality better suited to your vibration. This displacement effect often occurs when you're at a crossroads in your life, contemplating major decisions or changes. It's as if your consciousness is sampling different possible futures, briefly experiencing the energy of realities where you've made different choices. This sampling process helps you navigate your current decisions by giving you a preview of where different paths might lead. Your strongest bridge to these other selves is your intuition, that quiet inner voice you sometimes ignore in favor of logic. But when you truly listen, you'll notice intuition speaks in nudges, sudden knowing, and the quiet pull that defies explanation. It's your higher self or your parallel self whispering, "This is your path. Trust it." Those sudden, unexplainable urges to change direction in your life, that inner voice that guides you towards something without any logical reason. That's your parallel self, who's already made that change successfully, beaming wisdom directly into your consciousness. These intuitive downloads can manifest as irresistible feelings that something needs to be done, even when you can't articulate why. It's as if a part of you in another reality, where the choice has already been made and the outcome is known, is sending you a message to act in a specific way. Sometimes these downloads appear as sudden behavioral changes, where you start adopting new habits, interests, or routines, without fully understanding their origin. You might find yourself drawn to activities you've never considered before, or you might spontaneously change your daily patterns in ways that seem to come from somewhere deep within. These changes often reflect the influence of a parallel version of yourself who has already integrated these behaviors and is now projecting that energy into your current life. By remaining open to these intuitive nudges and behavioral shifts, you're allowing the wisdom of your parallel selves to guide your evolution. Next time you feel that inner tug to reach out to someone you haven't thought of in years, do it. When you feel the urge to turn left instead of right, take the turn. These tiny choices can shift your entire timeline, aligning you with a version of your life where doors open effortlessly. Everything in existence vibrates at a specific frequency. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions all emit energy signatures that determine which reality you experience and which parallel versions of yourself you can connect with. Want to communicate with a more successful version of yourself? You need to match their frequency. But to truly tune in, to merge with the highest, wisest, most abundant version of yourself, you must become a vibrational match. Everything in this universe is frequency. The version of you living in harmony, love, abundance, and peace exists at a higher vibration than fear, lack, or doubt. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every action you take creates a specific vibration that resonates with certain realities while remaining disconnected from others. When we talk about parallel realities, we're essentially describing different vibrational states that coexist simultaneously in the quantum field. The version of you that lives a life of abundance and inner peace, for example, vibrates at a higher frequency that naturally attracts experiences of prosperity and harmony. To align with this version, you need to understand that vibrational frequency isn't fixed. It can be consciously raised or lowered based on the quality of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. So ask yourself, what thoughts do I think most often? What emotions do I feed daily? Do they match the reality I desire? Now I will give you 4 basic techniques for raising your vibration and connecting with your higher parallel selves. Number 1. Gratitude. Gratitude tunes you into timelines where abundance flows naturally. When you cultivate genuine appreciation for what you have, you align your energy with realities where abundance is a constant presence. Gratitude is the shortcut. Number 2. Forgiveness. Forgiveness aligns you with versions who've found peace. Releasing resentment and anger frees up enormous amounts of energy that can be redirected toward connecting with your most harmonious parallel selves. Forgiveness is the unlock code. Number 3. Compassion. Compassion connects you to your most evolved selves. By extending understanding and kindness to others, you raise your frequency to match versions of yourself who operate from love rather than fear. Number 4. Joy. Joy bridges you to realities where happiness is your default state. Actively cultivating moments of joy, no matter how small, creates a resonance with timelines where fulfillment is your natural experience. Joy is the magnet. The more you cultivate these frequencies, the more you slip into timelines where your best self already lives. Now, here are the best ways to strengthen your connection with your parallel selves. Number 1. The documentation method. When signs start appearing from your parallel selves, the first reaction might be doubt or confusion. These messages don't always come in clear, obvious forms. They often arrive as subtle nudges, strange coincidences, or feelings that seem to come from nowhere. The key to interpreting these signs lies in developing conscious observation skills and learning to trust your intuition. Document every strange coincidence, every meaningful dream, every moment of displaced feeling, every synchronicity that catches your attention. Don't dismiss anything as just coincidence. Instead, write it down and reflect on its possible significance. Over time, patterns will emerge from these recorded experiences. These patterns are your roadmap to understanding the specific ways your parallel selves prefer to communicate with you. Some versions of you might favor dream communication, while others might use synchronicities or intuitive downloads as their primary method of contact. For example, if you consistently dream about a particular place or person, it could be an indication that a version of you in another reality is trying to guide you toward a similar experience in your current life. The details matter. Pay attention to the emotions you feel in these dreams, the specific locations, the people involved, and the overall atmosphere. Number 2. The meditation gateway. In deep meditation, the barriers between realities become paper thin. This is when you can establish the clearest communication channels with your parallel selves. During meditation, focus on any signs or messages you've received, and allow your intuition to guide you toward their deeper meaning. Ask your parallel selves direct questions during these meditative states. The answers might not come in words, but in feelings, images, sudden insights, or a profound sense of knowing. Sometimes the guidance comes as a physical sensation, a feeling of expansion when you're on the right track, or a sense of contraction when you're moving away from your optimal path. Set aside time each day to quiet your mind and open yourself to receive guidance from your parallel selves. The consistency of this practice will strengthen your ability to perceive and interpret their messages. Number 3. Mirror work. Look into your own eyes. Speak affirmations as if you are already that highest version. I am abundant. I am free. I am love. This reprograms your vibration to match your desired reality. But go deeper than simple affirmations. Look into your eyes and ask, what do you need to tell me? Sometimes the version of you looking back has wisdom to share. Notice any thoughts, feelings, or insights that arise during this practice. Try different variations. Speak to your past self with compassion. Speak to your future self with curiosity. Speak to your parallel selves with openness. Each conversation opens different channels of communication. When signs start appearing from your parallel selves, the first reaction might be doubt or confusion. These messages don't always come in clear, obvious forms. They often arrive as subtle nudges, strange coincidences, or feelings that seem to come from nowhere. The key to interpreting these signs lies in developing conscious observation skills and learning to trust your intuition. Practice what I call conscious noticing. Throughout your day, maintain a gentle awareness of your surroundings, your thoughts, and your feelings. When something catches your attention in an unusual way, pause and ask, what might this mean? What is this trying to tell me? Learn to feel the difference between random events and meaningful synchronicities. Meaningful synchronicities often have an emotional charge. They make you feel something, whether it's excitement, curiosity, or a sense of significance. Random events feel neutral, while synchronicities feel alive with possibility. Applying the messages you receive from your parallel versions means being open to new ways of acting, thinking, and feeling. If a parallel version of yourself is guiding you to take a specific path, consider how you can adapt that guidance to your current circumstances and reality. For example, if you feel a strong intuition to change careers, even if it seems scary or impractical, this could be guidance from a version of yourself who has already made that transition successfully. They understand the challenges and rewards that await you, and their encouragement is based on actual experience of living that choice. Another practical example might be the persistent feeling that you should explore a new hobby, skill, or area of study. This feeling could be a message from a version of yourself who has already mastered this area and is experiencing great joy and fulfillment through it. When you follow this guidance, you're not just expanding your capabilities, you're also connecting more deeply with that accomplished parallel version of yourself. The process of aligning with your parallel versions and applying their messages in your daily life can be seen as a path of personal and spiritual evolution. Each new understanding, each change in behavior, each decision made from these insights propels you toward a higher version of yourself. This alignment not only accelerates your personal growth, but also expands your consciousness beyond the limits of what you previously believed possible. You begin to realize that your current reality is just one of many options available to you, and that you have the power to choose which reality you want to experience based on the frequencies you emit and the choices you make. When challenges come, remember there is a version of you who has already overcome them. Ask for their guidance. Sit in silence. Listen. The answer might come as a feeling, a dream, a song, a sudden idea. Act on it. That's how you walk the bridge between timelines. Aligning with your parallel versions not only guides you toward a fuller life, but also connects you more deeply with the fundamental unity of existence. You begin to understand that all realities, all versions of yourself, and all possibilities are interconnected expressions of the same infinite consciousness. This understanding brings a profound sense of peace and purpose. You realize that you're not struggling alone through your challenges. You're part of an infinite network of consciousness that's constantly supporting and guiding your evolution. Through this integration, you're not just shaping your current reality, you're evolving as a conscious being and opening yourself to infinite possibilities for growth and fulfillment. Every message you receive, every sign you interpret, every decision you make based on guidance from your parallel selves becomes a catalyst for transformation. You begin to see that your life is not limited by your past experiences or current circumstances. Instead, you have access to the wisdom and experiences of infinite versions of yourself, each offering unique perspectives and solutions to the challenges you face. The journey of connecting with your parallel selves is ultimately a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. You're learning to recognize that you're not limited to one reality, one set of circumstances, or one version of yourself. Instead, you're awakening to your true nature as an infinite being with access to unlimited possibilities. So the next time you feel lost, alone, or stuck, pause, breathe. Feel for the version of you who has already found the way through. Invite them closer. And remember, you are never alone. You are a chorus of selves, cheering you on from beyond the veil. Every message received, every sign interpreted, every decision made, based on guidance from your parallel selves, becomes a stepping stone toward a life that truly reflects who you are in all your dimensions. The communication is already happening. The question is whether you're ready to listen and act on the wisdom being offered to you. You are not bound to one life, one story, one version of who you think you are. You are infinite potential, unfolding in countless forms. You are the dreamer, the dream, and the dreamscape all at once.